Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carryandcut YouTube channel. And if you're new here, I really do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below. I really do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. Helps push out the content to other people out there, and I really do love interacting with all the people out there. And for those of you that are channel members, I really do appreciate it. We did finally recently get through the YouTube monetization stuff. So we got, of course, all that super chats and all that cool stuff and channel membership. So we're getting some custom emojis and cool banners and all that kind of cool stuff happening. So I really do appreciate it. All the support out there it means the world to me. And got a cool video for you today. So this is a vintage Benchmade knife. So I'll go ahead and let you guys take a look at that thing. This is super cool, and telling people thanks. I really do appreciate Jimmie Crowe for sending this knife over to me. Jimmie Crowe has been a long-standing member and one of my good buddies that has helped me a lot down the road with the YouTube channel. He has sent me countless knives to show on my channel and disassemble and review and do all sorts of cool stuff. But this is one that is just extremely cool to me. It's kind of like a nostalgic factor. You really don't see knives like this anymore, especially something this old. I've done a little bit of research on it. I couldn't really find too much other than like some blade forums and stuff like that. This is the Benchmade Leopard Cub. So this is definitely something that you do not see from Benchmade anymore whatsoever. Of course, their axis locks and automatic knives have taken over. So this is an actual liner lock, which is pretty crazy to me. This is a steel liner lock only on one side right there, and this does have titanium handle scales on it too, which is really cool. You can see how they made that. It's not a backspacer, of course. This is just one piece titanium right here, how it steps over and kind of sandwiches in there to that liner lock and the other scale, which is really cool. We only have a one right hand tip down carry on that old school pocket clip right there, Benchmade USA. They still do follow that same bolt pattern for their knives nowadays, so that's kind of pretty cool to see. That's kind of something they kind of stayed, well, I guess for the most part, it's kind of similar. Yeah, you can kind of see on the 940 there. That's a similar bolt pattern right there, but still really cool. I really do like that clip though. I don't understand why they would switch away from. I know I don't have that stock clip on this one anymore, but still really cool little knife right here. The history, geez, the research that I've done, the little bit of history that I did find on it. This was made back in like the 90s, I'm pretty sure. Really cool little blade shape on this thing. This knife did come with a pretty cool story. Jimmie actually he got this from a family member, and he sent it back to Benchmade, and they sharpened. I think they actually put a new blade on it for him, or sharpened it. I don't know if they'll have to. Jimmie might have to fact check me on that. I know he told me the story about it, but either way, that he did send this back to Benchmade, and they either sharpened. I think they just sharpened it for him, and this is actually an ATS 34 blade steel. So that is another one of those things that I've never heard of before. I've heard of ATS 55 blade steel. I have a Spyderco Endura in that steel, and it's just a really old stainless. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if well, at least ATS 55 that one came from Japan, at least as far as I know. But still, yeah, this is a super early Benchmade, and even look at the Benchmade logo in there. It says Balisong. Of course, if you guys don't know, Benchmades were really big in the Balisong market back when. I know they still are. This is a Crawford design. It's a really, has an interesting one-side thumb stud on there, and I'm pretty sure you could switch that over to left hand, but I don't know why you would, because it only has a right hand clip on it. So that was kind of an interesting thing to say there. But we do have T8 construction back here. I think the pivot's still even T10 too. Might even be T10. Yeah, T10 on the pivot. We got T8 on the two. There isn't much hardware on this knife either, which is a really cool thing to see also. And of course, your back pivot is actually covered by your clip screws right there. But I do like the partial serrations on it. This is a small little knife, but this is a one that just kind of melts away in the pocket. You can't even notice it's there. Super lightweight too. Of course, these titanium handles just make this thing nothing. If it didn't have the steel liner in there, it'd be really, pretty much nothing whatsoever. So why don't we go ahead? Let's do some measurements on this thing. And of course, this knife has been long time discontinued from now. At least you can still find them on eBay for like $150 price range, which is actually pretty crazy to me for how old this thing is. And I imagine they are still a pretty rare knife too. I mean, of course, obviously they're not selling them anymore, but they're definitely out there in the wild if this is something that you're interested in getting. And they even do have like some fancy kind of dress models of this thing too, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's get this thing on the scale, see what we're looking at here. This is 2.3 ounces, which is pretty pretty light, I might say, because it's still coming in. Let's do some measure this blade here. We're almost 3 inches, so we're just a little bit over 2 3/4 of an inch, which is pretty impressive for that such a lightweight knife right there. It's not that much, sorry. Well, let's see. Yeah, right about 2 3/4 of an inch. Actual sharpened edge though, with the serrations included, we're looking at right about 2.5 inches. So you're not losing too much there. Of course, it's kind of strange how they did this plunge grind. That's still full thickness, all the way here till you start those serrations. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. You can see how they started the plunge, and then I don't know. It's just kind of strange, but it is a really small, really thin blade, I guess you could say. It does have thin blade stock, but I meant like in width of the actual blade itself. It's just a really kind of an odd shape. I do like the overall profile of it. This overall shape kind of reminds me of the Neutron 2. I don't know if you guys can see that overall roundedness. It's kind of, high spot in the middle, then goes to each side. Of course, this is the Atom. The Neutron 2, I ended up gifting that one to a good buddy, Jimmie Crowe. If you're watching, of course, this is actually one of his knives here. So I was, he's definitely helped me a lot down the road. I wanted to give him a gift of my appreciation to him. So I sent the Neutron 2 over to his house. So Jimmy, hope you're enjoying that little knife, buddy. And this one I kind of see the inspiration in it. So it's just kind of a cool thing. And I wish I had it to, kind of size compare here. But overall, really cool design. The titanium, it's crazy to me. I know titanium is all the rage and buzz nowadays, but even back in the 90s, they were still rocking that stuff and doing an exceptional job with it. Look at all that milling, crazy speed holes in it. This thing is fast as heck, boy. All right, let's go with some size comparisons. How about up against the Spyderco Delica? We're going to be somewhat in similar size. Definitely going to be a little bit smaller than the Delica. How about the Ontario Rat Model 2? So I'm still going to be smaller than that one right there. How about the Benchmade Bug Out? We are, of course, going to be smaller than that one. Where's a little knife here? How about the TRM Holy Nerd? So definitely bigger than that one. This is definitely a classic. Love this thing right here. And why don't we go up against the ProTech PT Plus? I feel like that's going to be a pretty good one. Yeah, right there. So that is a really good size comparison. The handle length is pretty much the exact same. We got a little more blade going on the PT Plus, but you got to think this is almost 30 years newer than this knife is right here. This knife is definitely, I almost guarantee, as old as I am, if not older, which is pretty impressive to see how far Benchmade has come. I know a lot of people hate on Benchmade nowadays, which, yeah, it's just one of those things that I get it. But still, seeing their roots is just really cool from what they came from to what they are now. Of course, this knife is a far cry stretch from either the Presidio 2 there or the Bug Out or even the 940. I could imagine back when they were, originally making these knives that they had no idea that it was going to evolve into something like this, even from their Balisong heritage, which is really cool. One of these days, I really would love to get one of those Benchmade Balisongs on the channel. I'm definitely not a Bally flipper by any stretch of the imagination, but it would be a cool thing to get into one day. So let's go do a couple more little close-ups on this thing. I don't know really anything about this ATS 34 steel. I did want to show you that ATS 55 steel while I do have it here. So yeah, this is Spyderco ATS 55, and from what I can gather from this knife, this was made back in like the early 90s also, so like a 94 model. And ATS 55, ATS 34, I'm thinking the ATS 34 might be or even earlier dated than the 55. Not sure on that. That's complete speculation. I'm just, pulling stuff out of thin air there. But for the most part, I know it's still really old, never heard of it. So, and it's definitely pretty stainless because it's not really showing any sign of corrosion for the most part. And still a very usable knife. I definitely wouldn't be afraid to use this thing. It's definitely tough. It's cool how they did that actual cutout with the liner all the way up there too. It's still one piece, but it's just kind of funny how it's only on one side of the knife right there. It's just something you definitely don't see very often. Yeah, really interesting. And they even do have, of course, the stop pin in there. Yeah, this will be an exciting one to take apart. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video. We're going to be doing a knife disassembly on this Benchmade Leopard Cub here and see what the inner workings are of this thing and actually see what makes this thing tick. Man, that was hard to get out. But I really do appreciate you guys stopping by and watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video. if you guys are interested in helping the channel out, make sure you check out that membership. I really do appreciate it, and then it does help me a lot. You know, I have a lot of hopes and aspirations for this channel, and a lot of really cool knives I'd like to get, even some more, you know, camera equipment, and some different, just cool stuff for the channel. So got a lot of stuff I want to do this year. Hopefully we can make it happen, and I really do appreciate it. And you know, awesome people like Jimmie Crowe sending their knives into me is what makes this channel possible. So Jimmie, definitely grateful for you, buddy, and I really do appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.